What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the show. How's it going, Dad?
What's going on, baby?
Just hanging out, watching some football, watching a little bit of YouTube, mostly football. No offense, but I was pretty active today in your live stream.
I know I saw that. I seen you and Shelby kicking it, so that was really cool.
Yeah,
Did
Shelby was home today, so
that's good.
yeah. But yeah, the week 3 kicks off today. I went ahead and tallied up my week 1 and week 2 because I was behind in doing that. I was 8 for 16 week 1 and I was 11 for 16 in week 2, so I made some improvement and I'm still above 500. I got 19 out of the first 32 games correct.
I'm
And
really
the a couple of those, if I would have just been reasonable, I would have had right. Like the Dallas Tampa Bay first game of the year. I just wanted to be that guy who got it right if there was an upset. And that's where a couple of my missed games were like, I was like, I know this team's probably going to win, but there is a chance that this team might win. And so that's why I have a couple of swayed games just because like I want to be like, I told you it could have, like if it happened, I would have been like, I was telling you it could happen. And so that was kind of where I'd probably be sitting at 22, 23 if I would have went with the
oh
more better odds.
sweet. So Sam Darnold just went in for a touchdown. That's more than likely going to give me my 7.5 point win today on my $50 bet. So my pick of the week might hold true and get me some money.
All I'm saying, the way that Houston's defense has stood up, Tyrod Taylor being there, I couldn't even tell you who was going to win the game. But the thing about it is I've been saying that Carolina is a sleeper team. And, they're going to be the first 3-0 team. This is the first time Sam Darnold has ever been 3-0 in their career. Not saying this is going to happen, but statistically showing the last time the Carolina Panthers started 3-0, they went to the Super Bowl. That also happened. So I'm just saying, I feel like everyone should just keep listening to me when I'm telling you Carolina's a sleeper team. And maybe, if they beat Houston, everyone's going to be like, okay, well, that doesn't mean they're a good team. I feel like
What?
week 1, they beat the Jets. Everyone's like, okay, well, that doesn't mean they're a good team. But they beat the Saints. The Saints are a good football team.
They got the number one defense. They haven't given up any points hardly at all. They haven't given up any yards hardly at all. Their defense is spectacular. Their offense is very functional, and they control the ball well.
Yeah, I mean, their defense is rated number 1 in every single category. And no one thought that would happen. And also, but I mean, I want to hop over to the Houston side for just a minute. This kid is having a rookie debut at quarterback. And if you look at his history in the sport, he's not played a lot of football in his life. He had 11 starts in Stanford, but other than that, he's not played a lot of football. And he stayed really calm. He's made good decisions. He's not created any turnovers. There is no turnovers from either side other than a turnover on downs that Carolina had. You know, Props to that guy. He was kind of thrown into a shitty situation. Like, let's be real. It was a bad situation. And, with everybody focusing on Deshaun Watson and Tyrod Taylor just trying to get his life ruined again. Like, I feel so bad for that guy. I mean, he's being really optimistic this time that he's going to come back and he's going to play football this year. And I hope he does. I hope he returns and I hope he stays healthy because, like, he was on pace to be, like, not to sound like a bandwagoner guy, but, like, he was on pace that I think he could potentially, if he kept up with it and their defense played like they're playing right now, an MVP candidate. Maybe not like a front runner, maybe not a top 3, but maybe a top 5, top 7 conversation. And that's, pretty impressive. What's
What's up,
up,
Don?
Don? But
Yeah,
yeah, I'm just saying, like, I was fully prepared to start the NFL season thinking, Houston Texans are only going to win 2 games this year if they're lucky. And they have potential to win more than 2 games now.
what the hell is that? Uh, Sorry, dude. Going to timeout. I don't know what the hell that was, but there's no place for that here.
How does one even find this channel? Jordan Austin said, game over. I'm assuming he's talking about the football game. I hope he's talking about the football game, but yeah, it's pretty much over. But the Texans did have a good run for, not being able to really do very much on offense. And so I think Houston Texans fans should not be discouraged by this loss today. I think they should see it as a win. I mean, it's a loss in the loss column, but it's a win in their book knowing that, they have a rookie quarterback that isn't going to, throw 10 interceptions a game and fumble the football. He made really smart decisions. He stayed calm. He moved up in the pocket when the pressure was coming. He looked like he'd had more experience than he did.
I was wondering if them three text chats that came in there really fast, I wonder if that was Mark.
Nah.
That's a sarcastic joke, just being an ass. I, I'm not saying anything, but I haven't had to deal with that at all. So, that's really strange, and like we've been at this for 6 months, and and we're in here late at night. I guess it might be because we're in here late at night. I don't know. That's just nutty. You know what? I'm super stoked for. The main thing I've taken away from Houston this year so far is they picked a good head coach. Did you see that guy?
Yeah, I mean, I watched what they talked to. He worked with Andy Reid for over 10 years, and everybody's had good things to say about him. He's worked with one of the Harbaughs. I think it was John Harbaugh. And he said, I wasn't going to take an assistant coaching job anymore. He got his chance and he's trying it out. And really, we didn't know what to expect with this guy. And, because I didn't know much about him until, this year. And so he's honestly done a fairly good job. They've got a decent team. They're not the best team in the league. They're not the best team in their division probably, but, they're able to win football games.
Can we talk about that for a second?
Yeah.
Because you know what? Tennessee's shown chinks in the armor that if you stop their running game, that they're not that solid. I don't think Christian McCaffrey ran all over Houston today. So that being said, if you go into Tennessee and stop their running game, Indianapolis is flighty at best right now. Who's to say that Houston can't compete in that division right now? I mean, I'm not saying that they're going to win a lot of games, but they're going to play a lot of competitive games with a little bit of luck on their side. They could be the surprise team of the year. This coach could get coach of the year.
I mean, if they win 6 games and, 4 or 5 games, at least, within one score of their losses, really good, hard-fought games, despite win or lose, I think that they definitely could be that for them.
Because we know Jacksonville is not really, they don't even show signs of improvement yet, really. They look discombobulated, like they're not in sync with one another. Houston played like a football team tonight. I mean, the end of the game kind of,
Houston was in progress to beat Cleveland last week.
Yeah, I mean, and Tyrod Taylor, when he comes back, he's a legit number one starter. I mean, he's a middle of the pack quarterback in the NFL, but he can win ball games. He can put up numbers. And then seeing this kid Davis Mills, I have newfound, if I was to go back today and redo my 17 weeks, I would probably give Houston a few more wins based on what I've seen.
Oh, I mean, after going through the first 2 weeks already, there's a lot of changes I would make.
Yeah, we can't do that.
A lot of similar results, but there are a lot of games that I would change my mind on. And yeah, I think if they continue, I mean, you just kind of got to not factor in Deshaun Watson right now. The only thing that Deshaun Watson is doing right now is hurting their payroll. And, he's taking a spot on their roster and hurting their payroll. Look, Deshaun Watson's a hell of a quarterback. I'll say that every day. But at this point, I don't know why they don't just move on. Let him go. He's wasting their time and money. And bring another, add depth to another position in his spot or whatever. And so I think I think if they can continue building what they have, and obviously this head coach is not going to give up on this team. He's been waiting 30 years for this opportunity. I think he definitely has a chance to turn that team around, make them competitive.
What's this foosball y'all talking about? You know what's funny is I
It's funny
watched.
because he said a boot. He didn't say about.
Yeah, I watched. God, Waterboy this afternoon.
Classic.
No, it was. It's. I laughed. I laughed the whole way through it. Everything. Every part of that. And Frederick Romano. I don't know what detentists is, but I know that was supposed to be detectorist. But I think that was really cool that came out.
It was like the other day when I was typing Patrick Mahomes and I typed Patrick Mahomes. I literally laughed for, I don't know, like a good 5 minutes about that.
Yeah, Marlon, thanks for coming in here tonight and hanging out for a few minutes. I know you're probably getting ready to go to work shortly.
Yeah, absolutely. Our friendly neighborhood Canadian that we all love and appreciate. I
Heck
am
yeah.
honored to have you come and stop by and hang out with us for a few minutes.
Right on. No, but that. I mean, it's really, week three, at the beginning of week three. If I would have told you preseason with the way we felt that we're going to be talking about Houston as a team that's up and coming this season, and Deshaun Watson would not be part of that equation, you probably would have told me I was. We both probably would have told each other we were stupid.
Yeah, I never anticipated. I anticipated a week 1 win. That's because they were playing Jacksonville, and there's a lot of you know question marks still, and there still is a lot of question marks with Jacksonville. But I expected a week 1 win, but then to see that how well they played week 1, to carry that through the first half of the game, week 2 against Cleveland, who has a really good defense, and their defense held up. They slowed everybody down on the Cleveland Browns offense, and they were putting up points. They were looking like a real competitive football team. Tyrod Taylor doesn't go out. That game was going to be a 3-point game at least, at most. I mean, and yeah, either team could have won. And so if they did that, coming into this game, they could have given Carolina a run for their money.
Oh yeah, if just Tyrod Taylor would have started today, this game would be a lot closer.
100%. I mean, I don't disagree at all, and I'm honestly kind of excited for Texans fans just because this last year and a half, 2 years have been, 2 years ago, about 2 years ago today or this year or whatever. They were making a run. They still had Deshaun Watson. They lost DeAndre Hopkins. They still had JJ, but like they knew things were coming. They knew the storm was coming, and so this past year has been probably like the hardest thing that the Texans have been through since they've been a franchise. Honestly, the stupidity, the bad things, the getting their coach fired, which would needed to happen. Everything that happened in the last year. I'm honestly excited for the potential in the future with this team because 6 months ago I told you I didn't think the Houston Texans were even going to be an organization in 5 years. And if
Yeah,
this new head coach can come in here and rebuild, and turn it around, I can revoke that statement.
yeah, fair enough. I mean, because the way that it was going, especially with the way that they were handling Deshaun Watson. And we know that, and we both feel like that Deshaun Watson's going to come out of this smelling fairly decent, if nothing else. Probably no suspension from the NFL. Probably
If he was
able to
going to
be.
get a suspension from the NFL, they would have already done it. That's the thing. Why would they let him sit on the roster? You know,
I, I
I,
think the
I
way.
think I think the suspension would have already started. Like the whole Trevor Bauer situation, they pulled him immediately. They said you can't play for a week, and then they were like, you can't play for the rest of the year. You know, listen, if they were going to suspend him, he would have already been suspended. They have no intentions to unless something actually happens with his case.
And the longer that it goes, the more that it looks like he's going to be completely vindicated.
Yeah, I mean, it's just factual right now that everything is pulling for Deshaun at this point. And so Houston Texans are smart. They better just let that man go. Let him move on. Let him go play football somewhere else. Get him
Yeah.
off your roster. Get him off your payroll so you can use that money because they're paying him what, like 35 million a year, 25, 35 million a year.
Oh, I
You can
looked it
use
up the
that
other
for
day. It's a lot.
they can use that for more than one or two guys, three guys to pay, and start building because they're already building. That him being on that roster right now is only holding them back further.
I agree wholeheartedly. I'm super excited for this weekend in football. I can't help myself. I've
Also, I
looked,
just want to say hey to Jeff real quick that he's in here. I don't know
dude.
if he was on your live stream or not, but Benzo was live at the same time as you, and so I went over there for just a minute and I saw Jeff over there and I just said hey and everything. So um I
Wow,
left your live stream midstream and went and seen what was else going on, and so I wanted
Rob's
to
in
say
here
hey.
tonight too.
I am here listening. What's up, Rob? Thanks for hanging out. I got yeah. You might want to be here for tonight, Rob. I got a lot of good things to say, and I don't know if you're going to agree with me, but I got them to say because we got a lot of previewing to do, and yeah.
Well, since you're all wound up today, why don't you pick where we go from here? Because I was really happy with Carolina today. I won my bet. I did really well with my first bet this season on the NFL, and I'm pretty stoked.
Yeah,
I got
I put in a pretty hefty. Okay, well, since you're talking about sports betting, I put in a two pretty hefty parlays in for the weekend. And I only bet $5 on both of them, but that guy who put that $25 bet that was going to be like a 750K payout if the Lions won, that kind of really inspired me to do some crazy things. So I put a couple $5 nine-leg parlays down. And so, I'm 1 for 1 on both of my two parlays so far. Obviously, Carolina was favored to win, but I couldn't just do all upsets because I knew that's unrealistic. But I did play the cards right, and there are a couple upsets this week in the NFL Week 3. Today was not an anticipated upset for me. Like I said, Terod Taylor plays, then maybe, but he obviously is not going to be for at least 2, 3 more weeks. Um, but let me get my schedules out real quick. I'll start with the AFC East since it's what I grabbed. Week 3, the Buffalo Bills visit or have a home game against the Washington football team. Let's go. Hey, what you got to say?
uh, Washington's still going to be inconsistent at quarterback, even though I think Heineke's going to play well. I think Josh Allen needs to right the ship this week because his inconsistency passing is starting to rear its ugly head again. Uh, Buffalo wins the game 24-17.
Well, on here I have Buffalo winning the game for our initial picks, and I'm gonna stand by that because I think they're gonna win. Like Josh Allen's the only offense that completely blew out a team so far through first 2 weeks. Granted, Tua got hurt. I'm very sorry to hear that, but they should have been able to put up at least 3 points and not get blown out. It was 35-0. And that's only relevant to me because a Dolphins fan made me mad today. Talking about the Bengals. So I just wanted to reply to him and say 35-0, but I didn't want to be mean, so I didn't feel like fighting today. I just saw the comment and it just, I don't know, irritated me. But I still don't agree with you saying the inconsistency with Heineke. I think he's going to be challenged this week because Buffalo has a pretty stout defense. You know, he obviously didn't look very good against the Steelers, but I think the Steelers offense isn't good. I think they had a good special team play, good defensive play. But I think this is the week that the Washington football team is really going to be challenged, especially in the pass game. And so I think this is the turning point for both of these teams. Look, Buffalo wasn't supposed to lose week one, and I don't even think Washington was supposed to lose week one to the Chargers. So both of these teams have one win. They're 1-1, and they're both trying to turn things around right now. And so this is not going to be a blowout game. I would say 7 points, and that's not a blowout to me. It's not. I don't think it's gonna be as close as 3, but I still think it's gonna be within one score. I'm gonna go with Buffalo because they're at home and those fans are insane. Uh, they're more insane than Washington football team fans, and that's just a fact. They jump through tables to celebrate. They're crazy, and so they get really excited. They're gonna get loud, and it's gonna be a great game. I think it's gonna be a great game actually. Like it's a good matchup to really test both of these teams. It's gonna test Taylor Heineke, help him settle in a little better because he's gonna have to make a lot of tough decisions and try to not turn the ball over. And Josh Allen, if he loses this game, he's gonna lose a lot of clout really fast. And so I think he knows that. I think everyone's really aware of the situation for both sides of these teams. If Washington loses, they're the NFC East. No one cares. But Josh Allen and the Bills have a lot to lose in this game. So I think, I mean, you know what? I like to have my gambling money. And so if I make big bets like this for small with big payouts, if I hit on at least one of them, I double my money, triple my money, quadruple my money, and I have more money to gamble on sports with. But I made a lot of bets, future bets, before the season started. So a lot of my money, you know, was already placed before the season started. Yeah, I know my smallest parlay was a $5 bet for like a $900 payout. And that's a win for me. $900 is clutch. But anyway, let's jump over to the next East team, an AFC East team. This is a divisional matchup. No, it's not a divisional matchup. I'm looking at week 2. It's the Patriots versus the Saints in New England.
Man, I'm a little torn on this one.
Before week 1, I was not. Now today I am. I am torn.
I'm still perplexed about last week's game. However, I think we got discussing in another group the reason why the Saints game was so lopsided last week, and they were talking about what these 8 coaches that missed the game, what all they did, and people were put into those positions that weren't normally there. There was a lot of confusion, a lot of stuff going wrong there. So thanks, Chris. I really feel like the loss of coaches may sometimes be more important than the loss of players. So I'm going to give New Orleans a pass on that game. And even though I did have New England picked to win this game,
I had the Saints picked to win this game.
I had them picked to win this game, but I think I originally picked that before they swapped quarterbacks. So that was with Cam. So now I'm a little more closer to the Saints, but when I originally picked it, I picked New England. But I think the Saints are going to get a 24-21 victory on the road in New England.
Yeah, I mean it is a road game for the Saints, but they haven't played a home game yet, and so the Jacksonville game was not a home game. So I don't think that is really the true factor, because that home game they played in Jacksonville, it was basically a Green Bay Packers home game. And so, there was definitely 70-30, 80-20, like Packers fans to Saints fans. So, I don't think that's going to be the factor really in this game. But I think I agree with you. They lost like 8 coaches out last week with COVID, and if not all, most of them will probably be back. I would assume so. And I think that's going to really make a difference. They looked out of sorts, but you have to keep in mind they played Carolina, who has the number one defense right now. And that's already a tough task at hand. Everyone said, oh, Jameis looks like the old Jameis, the Tampa Bay Jameis. Like, no. No, that was a really good defense, and they, were out of sorts. They weren't unprepared for this game. I think this week they're going to be a little more prepared, and things are going to be a little different. And so I still have the Saints coming out on top on this game. This was no offense to Mac Jones at all. He's still a young quarterback who is doing well. He is doing well, and he has a great coach. So that, you know,
I think he's going to play well this game.
I think he's going to play well. But that Saints defense, a couple guys might be back from injury, which was another issue they had on the defensive side of the ball last week. Is they had guys that did not play, starters that did not play. And so I think, they're going to get a couple guys back. They're going to get at least a couple coaches back. And I think this is going to – it's the same thing with Green Bay playing the Saints and then going and, playing Detroit at home. And I know it was Detroit, but Detroit, was ahead at halftime. So I think it's the same situation. I think they're going to bounce back. I think this game is going to look a lot like that Detroit Saints or Detroit Green Bay game, but I think maybe not so much lopsided at the end. Unless, turnovers and stuff, that really changes, and that's what happened. They had a couple fumbles and stuff. So, I'm sticking with the Saints on this one. What? Jameis Winston sucked? Imagine that. Yeah, well, they were missing 8 coaches, and they have a really intricate system there in New Orleans.
They were talking about what some of them guys did. So certain packages on the offense and the defense, certain players go in for. The guy that keeps track of some of the receivers and switches them in and out, does the switching, say, hey, 32, 44, you're up, such and such package. That guy wasn't there. There was a lot of guys that had double duty for the coaches that they did have. And, the overall
really unorganized,
the overall
chaos.
The overall consensus was that, and then what, granted, and they may not have won that game anyway, as well as Carolina is playing right now. However, that's a tough task.
Yeah, I mean, you have to keep in mind it is also a divisional game. Divisional games are harder, and all in all, I think they're going to bounce back this week and make it for a good game. But let's switch over to I forgot the Dolphins. The Dolphins at the Raiders. Now, I watched Wyatt's World this last night for his Week 3 predictions because I have not been able to keep up with his videos as much as I'd like to lately. And he made a good point. He said the Raiders look good, and if they go 3-0, he hopes, people are going to take them seriously. I'm not going to take them seriously at 3-0. But I do think they're going to win and become a 3-0 team. But Wyatt said, knowing the luck of the Raiders, this is going to be the one stupid game they should win, but they don't. And, I think Miami still has a good defense. They have Jacoby Brissett, who is not the world's worst quarterback. He just didn't come back as good as he was from that injury. So, what is your take on Miami at Vegas?
I think Vegas rolls on. I look at the way they played their first 2 games, and I feel like those were good wins. They played good on both sides of the ball. Didn't make a lot of unforced errors. So the mistakes were down. And right now I just don't have much confidence in Miami's defense as well as their offense. So I figure
I think Josh Jacobs is he's still questionable. He's dealing with turf toe. But I think Darren Waller is going to go off in this game.
Yeah, they need the Raiders need to establish a solid running game. I know they've been doing it by committee, trying to get Josh Jacobs back, but that is where
Kenyon Drake. See, he's their backup, and he was with Arizona last year. He wasn't horrible, but Arizona had just had a lot of all-around issues last year.
Yeah, Kenyon Drake, in my mind, has never really lived up to his expectations, even when he was in Miami. So I'm not a big fan of his. But as long as they can pretend like they're going to run the ball, I think that the Raiders are going to roll through this game. It's probably going to be a pretty decent win, maybe a 10-point win. I don't like to favor anybody by that many, but I would say they should win somewhere around 8 to 10
I was
points.
gonna say probably 8. They should, but like you said, if we go back to Monday night versus Baltimore in Vegas, the crowd noise was insane, and it was really affecting Derek Carr and the offense.
The
They were
way
having a
that
lot of issues because they couldn't handle the noise. They never had an inside stadium before.
the way the defensive line played against Baltimore, I feel really bad for Jacoby Brissett, who is not. He's not a very mobile quarterback. He's more of a pocket guy. He's a big quarterback, but if they get after him like they've been getting after everybody else, that really bodes well for that defense to create some turnovers.
Yeah, I mean, Max Crosby. That's all you really got to say right there.
Yeah, let's keep rolling. I don't think there's much to discuss there. I think it's going to
Nah,
be.
I think this should be a fairly easy win for Vegas. As much as I don't want to see Vegas go 3-0, I think it's just fact it's gonna happen. So sticking with the East, we already talked about Washington. We've got the Eagles at the Cowboys, and this is a primetime game. Yeah, that's where I'm at with it. I
I,
have the
I
Cowboys winning this game based on my early predictions. I don't want to stick with that. I want to say Philly's going to pull off an upset, but I'm probably going to safely stick with that for now. Because I don't know. There's a lot of question marks. It's the Marcus Lawrence. That he broke his foot. The defensive side for the Cowboys got better and then got plagued with injuries and got worse again. And I think Jalen Hurts is good enough to see the flaws in that defense.
I'm gonna go with Dallas, but I'm gonna call it a 1 point win. I don't think it's gonna be a pick'em type of game. I can't right now. If you just asked me early on I picked Dallas. I know I did,
Yeah, I
and
picked Dallas early on, but
but but now I think it's gonna be closer than that than what I
but
originally
you
thought
have
it
to
would.
remember how these NFC East divisional games go.
Yeah, I
They're
know.
always neck and neck. It doesn't matter which one of the four or which two of the four. It's just tough. It's tough to call divisional games in that division. All right. So the only other East team we have is the Giants visiting Atlanta, or no, playing in New York. Sorry, the Falcons visiting the Giants. On my sheet, I have the Giants winning, and they should. But I do think Atlanta can win this game.
I think Matt Ryan
There's
and
two
the
teams I don't like betting on is Atlanta and the Giants right now, like the current Giants.
I really feel like Atlanta's struggles on defense are going to continue. I believe that the Giants are going to win this game, but I believe Matt Ryan's going to put up some numbers.
I think this is gonna be a shootout type game, uh, because the New York took that major hit, on their Thursday. Was it Thursday? Yeah, their Thursday night game. They lost an offensive lineman, for the year. It was the brutal injury, and they're still having some defensive issues. Atlanta is just Atlanta, and that's just the way it goes. I think this might be a good game for Kyle Pitts to have a breakout game, and get more acclimated in the system, get more targets at least. I think this is going to be spread the ball around to whoever's going to catch it, and if they can, I think whoever can dominate the run game more, which automatically favors New York with Saquon and having extra rest this week because they played on Thursday last week. If Saquon can, develop a strong run game, um, I think New York can win this game. But I don't
Do,
think Matt Ryan's going to go down without a fight.
do you know right now, currently on the New York Giants, that their number one rusher for the season is Daniel Jones?
Yeah, I mean, I think he is like Josh Allen. He's got a good arm and he can run the ball. As long as he can keep two hands on the ball, he is capable of doing both of those things. Like if he gets sacked, don't drop the football every time he gets sacked. And if you run the ball, keep two hands on the ball so when you do get tackled down, you don't lose it. If he can fix that right there, he can be a good quarterback.
Yeah, there's a lot of there's a. I think the Giants win the game. Maybe a field goal, but I think Matt Ryan finally puts up some numbers this week.
Yeah, I think he's tired of losing in his career. He's got to be sick of it right now. Um, so I think we're gonna see a little bit of a fight out of him this week. But
Next,
I'm gonna hop to the north, and I've got the NFC in front of me, which means we're starting with the Bears, and that is at Cleveland. I just want to before anybody says anything, I think this is one of my upset games. Justin Fields is going to be their starter. He is not comfortable in that system yet, which means all signs point to Cleveland having a good game. But then I saw how the first half of the Houston Cleveland game and what they were able to do. And they have less offensively, in my opinion, than the Bears do. And, Justin Fields, if he got some legs, if he can get outside the pocket, just like Lamar, can do some damage as well. I have on my spreadsheet right here the Browns winning this game at home, but I think this was made a month ago. I am taking the Bears on this game. Close game, 3-point game, but I'm taking the Bears on this game.
yeah, I'm in a totally different frame of mind. Although your points are super valid, um, I look at this game and I think this is one of those games where Justin Fields is the better starting quarterback out of the two that they have. Because, and not because Andy can't play against Cleveland, I'm just saying that his legs are the only thing that gives them a chance to win this game. Because Cleveland's defense is solid. I still think Justin Fields turns the ball over 2 or 3 times in this game, whether it be fumbles or interceptions, and Cleveland wins by 10.
That's like I said, one of probably a more realistic take, but I like my odds on taking this upset.
That's why we picked. Keep
Yeah,
on.
I'm gonna stick with it. It goes against what I said, but I like it. I kind of want to see Justin Fields ball out for real. Um, you know, yeah. What the thing is about Chicago is Cleveland is Jarvis Landry's out. OBJ is still uncertain, so they're going to their rookie and their tight ends and like one other receiver is who they have. But this is back to that situation I think they're going to be able to stop the run. Not completely, but I think they're going to be able to slow Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt down. I think it's just going to happen because they have a very good front, but they also have a good pass rush, which I think is going to lead to Baker throwing 2 interceptions.
Oh, I'm not saying. Yeah, I just think I still think where Cleveland wins their games is going to be on the defensive line and their running game. And with most of that, I don't think Baker needs to do all that much. I think that they're going to. I think they're going to do really well in this game.
Hang
But
on. Marlon said you want to hear a cool secret, and I want to hear a cool secret, so we're going to have to give him a minute. But no, I get what you're saying completely. But I'm saying this is gonna be one of the upsets of the week.
oh, that's cool.
Oh, that's okay, Marlon. I don't mind off topic. It's cool anyway. And so, no worries. Yeah, I'm
But,
taking Chicago. Taking Chicago by 3. No, I'm taking Chicago by 2.
well, we're pretty far apart.
That's okay. I prefer it that way.
I tell you what, if I was gonna bet on this game with Cleveland being a 7 point favorite, I would take Chicago in the points any day of the week.
Oh yeah, I'm taking the points in Chicago's favor just because, like I think it's not going to be an 8+ point game. Also,
Oh, I think we think alike because we hit it at the
Chris
same time.
said, "How have y'all been lately?" I've been okay. I've been sick for the last 2 weeks, and I'm finally back to health, and I'm able to return to work this week. And so I am having a much more positive mindset than if you were to ask me a week or two ago. So, I'm doing all right. I'm doing all right. How are you, Chris?
Yeah, I've jumped on the bandwagon with Chris. I jump into his whenever he goes live. I see it. I jump in there for a few minutes just to kind of check out what he does. It's got such a good following. I enjoy that.
Shelby said I take Chicago by 3. Marty said Bears 300, Browns 6. Yes.
Nothing would make me happier than to see that score. Honestly,
If I ever saw a team put up 100 points, I would be so happy.
keep moving.
Everyone drop a like even if you can't watch for long. Yeah, we appreciate your support, Chris. Yeah, both of us. I mean, I can't really speak for him, but he just said it himself. I try to stop by every once in a while. I know your stream schedules are very
Weird.
random, and so whenever I see it, I try to stop by him for at least a minute or two and show a little support. Next is the Lions versus the Ravens in Detroit. Do we even have to talk about this one?
No, I don't even know what I don't know what the line is yet. I haven't gotten to it, but I'm not I'm still not big on the Lions at all. And but here's the thing: I feel like Baltimore could have a letdown after the big win. So the point
Yeah,
spread is
this was an upset that I considered putting money on.
well with the line being 7.5. I would definitely, if it was just a betting game, I would take Detroit. But I think Baltimore wins the game because they can control the clock.
Yeah, I mean, it's the run game is like the thing with them, If they can force them to depend on throwing the ball, I think the outcome of this game could be a lot different than what everybody in the world thinks. I would like to see this upset, but I'm not going to push my luck with the upsets I do choose this week. So I'm going to stick with Chicago being my first upset. I'm going to leave it to what it's supposed to be. Yes, Dad, we see your shark background.
I'm just playing with Marlon a little bit while we chat.
Okay, Packers at 49ers.
I'm not ready to jump back on the Aaron Rodgers bandwagon. San Francisco by 7.
So on my sheet, I originally had this as a Packers win, and I don't know what changed my mind, but this was obviously before the season started. I scratched it out and put an L. So I have the 49ers winning this game. So I think the Packers are going to win. I'm just going to throw that out there. I think the Packers are going to win, but when I made this, I was still uncertain. Obviously, there's a lot of marks on that game. So I'm going to stick with the Packers on this game, but I think it's going to be a close one. I'm going to take the Packers by 4.
Nice. I had San Francisco in the beginning of the year. I'm not changing my thought now. I think Jimmy G is doing a fantastic job. And I
Yeah,
just
no, I mean, no disrespect to the 49ers at all when I say that, but I think Packers by 4. Karen Rogers. I mean, you got that right, man. You got that right. Also, Chris said, "Yeah, I've been wanting to get on at the same time, but it's been rough." No, I totally understand. I totally get it, and me and him work opposite schedules, and so a lot of times I've just sacrificed or he sacrificed to try to get the same schedule every week, and I understand how rough it can be. So, do whatever you got to do to take care of yourself and still do what you love. Amanda says 49ers by 6. I want the 49ers to win this game. Like, this is me saying the Packers by 4. It's not because I want them to. I want to see them lose. I wanted to see Detroit beat them on Monday night, like it's not that. But I don't know. Something's telling me in my gut that I need to stick with the Packers on this one, even though I changed my mind before. Here's an interesting game, which might not be that interesting, but I think it's a crucial game for one of these teams at least. The last team in the NFC North is Vikings versus Seahawks in Minnesota. I think this is a very crucial game for Minnesota. It's gonna suck going 0-3. So I think it's really crucial for them. But also, if the Seahawks fall any further behind, that division's real hot right now. Um, so it's gonna be a tough fight. I have Minnesota losing this game, even though it's at home. But the way that Minnesota's been playing lately, it just depends on who. If they can stop Dalvin Cook, they will beat Minnesota. But
I I would like to stick to what I believe, but my gut says that Minnesota is going to rebound and play well at home after losing 2 games that they could have won.
but they were both on the road.
I think they're going to win at home. I think it's not going to be by much. It's going to be a tight game. It's going to be another one of those shootout type games, but I think they beat the Seahawks, and I can't believe I just said that.
Yeah, I'm gonna stick with the Seahawks just because I don't know. I hate picking that one. Like I really do. But I'm gonna stick with the Seahawks just because you went Vikings. I'm gonna stick with the Seahawks just so we can have a little bit of differential here. Even though I think it's gonna be a good game. The last team in the North that we have not talked about is last two. The Cincinnati Bengals are going to Heinz Field to play the Pittsburgh Steelers.
I think Joe Burrow goes off. I think
I think I was wrong, but I had the right impression when I put an L next to the Bengals for this week. But things are different. Yeah, both teams got guys on the injury list. TJ Watt is listed as questionable. Even if he plays, he won't be 100%. Devin Bush practiced today, but is still dealing with an injury. Ben Roethlisberger is dealing with an injury. Deontay Johnson didn't practice at all because of his knee. I think the injury bug might be what saves the Bengals from getting destroyed, just due to how things go. But I think if the Bengals can beat the Steelers last year with a high school quarterback, I think they're going to be okay.
I mean, the offensive line in Cincinnati scares me.
It scares me as well. But TJ Watt being slowed down due to an injury could be what saves Joe Burrow's life.
But I still feel that Cincinnati wins the game by 4. I
This
still
is my
haven't.
second upset for the week.
I'm not
Going with
changing.
Cincinnati by 3.
Yeah, I'm not changing on this one. I think Roethlisberger can't throw the ball, and I think their offense is too bad, and I think Cincinnati's defense is too much improved to let them beat them. I think, yeah, I'm gonna stick with that. Bengals by 4.
Yep, I'm right there with you. That's my number 2 upset so far. I know it's in Heinz Field, and they have lost their last 5 games in Pittsburgh, but I think this is going to be this if they lose this game, it's going to be because they're too conservative with their quarterback once again. I think if they give him at least a little bit of room to prove that if he can push the ball downfield, they'll win games, and give him some room to breathe, it's gonna be a ball game, man. Like, I think he's going to ball out.
I really believe that's the reason why they are working. They're so adamant about establishing the run is to give Joe more time in the pocket.
I mean, Joe Mixon is the second leading rusher in the NFL with only Derrick Henry in front of him. And so they're doing a decent job with that. And I think they're going to continue to do that. I think TJ Watt being out, or, like I said, not 100% is going to help them. I don't like saying that because, like, I don't want anybody to be injured, but it's just a fact. Their line's going to be hurting if he's not there. And if that's the case, they're going to be able to run the ball, and they're going to have time to throw the ball if they slow down that defensive front for Pittsburgh. Like, that is the one major thing. If they can slow down that defensive front in Pittsburgh, they will win that game.
Agreed. Let's keep going.
All right, so we're done with the North and the East. What we got here? AFC South. I feel so bad for this team. Jaguars versus the Cardinals.
It's not even close.
I feel bad for Jacksonville. If Arizona can keep up this trend of what they're doing right now, I feel bad for Trevor Lawrence, man. I mean, I don't, but
I'm not even going to put a number to it. It's just not even close.
I'm going to say they're 34-10 at least. Oh, I say 34-9.
That's generous.
3 field goals. Okay, next team. We got the Titans versus the Colts, the injury-riddled Colts.
That's at Tennessee, right?
Yes.
Colts go 0-3.
Colts, yeah, I have them going 0-3. I mean, that's just they got a lot of issues right now, and they don't have the easiest schedule. So
I take Tennessee -5. I'll take them and give up 5 points.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really care too much for Tennessee, but I think they're going to win this game unless they can, like you said earlier, stop Derrick Henry and magic happens on the Colts offense.
I don't even think this one's close. I don't even feel like these two teams are even close in ability right now, and I hate Ryan Tannehill. I do not think he's a good quarterback at all, and I think he's miles above where Indianapolis is at right now.
Yeah. No, I hate to admit that, but yeah, I agree. It's really tough right now for the Colts, and I feel bad for them because they, like I said, they have a playoff team. They just have quarterback issues and a couple other injury issues, but yeah, I mean, there's not much else to say. All right, now the only team left that we haven't talked about in the South, I think this is going to be one of the best football games we're going to see this week. It is 100% the best football game this week. Tampa Bay at the LA Rams. Going Rams. I'm not even going to argue with anybody. I think this is where Tampa takes their first loss of the year. They're going to be. It's a road game. They've played 2 home games in a row. I think this is where Brady gets slowed down. He's already thrown 9 touchdowns. He's not going to throw 5 touchdowns this week.
And this may end up being a shootout style game. However, there's too many things. The only thing that's questionable on the Rams side is how much they can actually run the ball. Still, I mean, that's still the question mark. But I think Aaron Donald in that defense slows them down quite a bit.
Look what the Cowboys did. They avoided the run completely. And
Right.
Matt Stafford can throw his way to win a game if
Yeah,
his
you know,
defense holds up.
and if you haven't noticed, or anybody that's looking at fantasy, Matt Stafford and Cooper Cup is a great combination right now if you can get them both on your team.
And,
Uh,
the two, Jalen Ramsey and the guy across from Jalen Ramsey, haven't given up a 20-plus yard play in like 3 years. And so, I mean, that kind of, and they might be without Antonio Brown. Well, it's not even a might. Plus, they're most likely not going to have Jason Pierre-Paul,
yeah,
which,
I'm not even close on this one right now. I picked the Rams to win this game in the beginning. I still say that they're going to win. I haven't looked at the spread.
it's got to be only like 2 points. I'm going to take the Rams by 3. I'm going to take them by a field goal because there's no way, that Bucks team is going to give up.
I I would definitely take this bet because the Rams are a 1.5 point dog at home.
Yep. I'm going to say Rams by a field goal. Uh, don't feel right giving it by any more than 3 because it's going to be, like I said, I think this is going to be one of the best games of the year.
And you know what? I'll come out and say it right now. If Tampa Bay wins this game, then I will say that they are the favorite to win the NFC.
Yeah, I mean, if they can.
If they can go to the Rams and win, they should be considered. They should, in my book, will be considered the favorite to win the NFC because, all the prognosticators and everybody thinks that Tampa Bay is going to go undefeated. Yada yada yada. I think the Rams are the best team in the NFC. We'll see how it works out on Sunday. I can't wait to watch this game at 4:25.
Yeah, I mean, I almost wish they would bump this to the Sunday night game. Like, it deserves it. Like, this is game of the year right now. Like, this is the two top dogs of the NFC.
Yeah, I'm ready. Really ready for this one.
Like, this game could be NFC Championship implications.
Yep.
If it's not Green Bay, it's going to be, if it's not Green Bay or New Orleans, it's going to be Tampa and the Rams. Like, I'm convinced of that in the championship.
Man, I still got high hopes for Arizona.
Arizona's already performed better than I gave them credit for on my list. So that is still a factor. But I think Rams are top dog. I think it's true.
Let's go. Keep rolling.
Well, we only got one division left. And that is the top dog divisions of the NFL, which is the West. And I say top dogs because, there's only 2 undefeated AFC teams left, and they're in the West. Let's start with the AFC West because I feel like the NFC West is a lot more to talk about. We got Chiefs versus Chargers. I think this is going to be a blowout Chiefs game because they just got punched in the face by the Ravens, and I think they're going to come ready to play. It's in Arrowhead Stadium. It's going to be loud, and I don't think unless some freak accident happens and all of a sudden they all forget how to play football, I think they're going to all play at a very high level, and there's no way for them to lose.
I think the Chiefs win the game. I think it's no more than a score. I don't think it's over 7.
I think it's going to be 34-21.
I think the Chargers are much better than what people have given them credit for on the defensive side. 28-24.
Yeah, I'm going to go 34-21. I'm going to stand with that one. I think this is going to be before I looked at the schedule, I felt bad for whoever the Chiefs played next. And it just happened to be a divisional game, Chargers. I feel bad for them because I feel like this is going to be we're going to take all our frustrations out on the next team we play. And, it's going to be at home, so it's going to be even better for them. They have the 12th man on their side. And,
yeah. That crowd is amazing. So let's keep on rolling.
We did the Chargers. I don't even know if we talked. I feel like I skipped the Jets earlier, and I didn't mean to. But the Broncos versus the Jets. I don't think there's any question here that Broncos defense is going to eat Zach Wilson alive. Uh, Jets or Broncos by 14.
Well, they're a 10-point favorite at home.
But
I'll
teams,
go.
especially East Coast teams, have a hard time playing in Denver because of that air quality, the mountain air. And
Yeah,
so, I'm taking the Broncos by 2 touchdowns.
yeah. I'll yeah. I think it's 14. I think they win by 2 touchdowns. I'll agree with that. Keep
I
going.
just it's hard to play in Denver if you're not used to it. And that Zach Wilson kid, he's never done it, and he didn't have a very good showing last week against whoever they played last week. I don't
New
know, but
England.
yeah, but well, it was divisional, but he did not have a good showing. He might bounce back a little, improve a little, I should say. There's no bouncing back for rookies, really. It's all a learning curve. I think he might do better, but he doesn't have a chance. Like, it's just not possible unless the defense slash special teams for the Jets show out. Yeah, Broncos by 14. And then we talked about the Raiders versus the Dolphins. And so, we talked about the Cardinals at the Jags, the Rams versus the Bucks, Seahawks versus Titans, and well, that's it. We talked about all of them already.
We
Yep,
went through everything.
Yep,
Damn.
hit them all. But yeah, I mean, I think it's going to be a good week of football. The game I'm looking forward to is the Bengals game and the Bucks and Rams game. I think those are going to be two really good games. I think, like I said, the Bucks and Rams game might be the game of the year. That's non-playoff game. Seriously, I feel like it should be flexed to the 8:20 game. It deserves it.
I gotta say that I think the game of the week might be the Minnesota Seattle game as far as competitiveness and needing to win. I feel
I
like
mean, I feel like if neither of them are willing to lose, that they would be happy with the tie because neither of those teams can afford a loss right now.
absolutely. And 0-2 teams very rarely make the playoffs. 0-3 hardly. It's almost never.
Yeah,
So I
that's
mean,
what I'm saying. Like, this game is so important for the Vikings to have even a slight chance. And Seattle cannot slip too far behind in that race because that division is so tight. If I think if any team in the West gets behind more than 3 games at any point in the season, they're not coming back from that.
yeah, I'm telling you, these divisions are. I think the level of competition in the NFL. It's really good to see that the teams have gotten closer. I mean, the Jets are pretty bad right now, and so is Jacksonville. And go figure, those are your first 2 drafts and your draft picks for quarterbacks. Those 2 teams are pretty bad right now, but other than that, the league's not that far apart. To top to the bottom, there's a lot more competitive teams this year. So far, it seems like than we've seen in years past. It's got the bottom's catching up a little bit.
Yeah, I think also, I agree with you completely, but the other game I'm excited to watch is the Cleveland and Chicago game. Um, I just think it's going to be a good game.
Oh,
I feel like Baker make one big mistake and that turns the game around completely and in Chicago's favor. It's in Cleveland, but Cleveland and Chicago are really close together, so it's not like a true road game. Um, it's not like they're going across the country or anything. And they
yeah,
just
they don't
played.
have to. They don't have to change their schedule up too much to make that game. But yeah, I really look
And
to
I
see.
feel like we're going to see a lot of Bears fans there.
I don't know. It's hard to get into Cleveland games as an opposing team fan. You don't see a lot of it.
Well, yeah, but I just have a feeling. Have a feeling there's going to be a lot of Chicago fans there.
Yeah, I got to say that it'll be a good one. There's about 4 games that I'm dying to kind of watch this week.
Yeah, I'm really excited about the Bears game, the Bengals game. I could care less about the Ravens game unless it's a close game, and then I'll be interested. But in my opinion, either Baltimore or Cleveland has to lose this week to make me feel better about whatever happens with the Bengals game. And so I'm picking the big brother with Cleveland to take that L and put Chicago on top. I think they have the potential to be a really good football team, and so I just I think they like I said they got a lot of issues, but they're figuring it out as they go. As soon as Andy gets healthy, he's going to be their starter again. I think that's the right call by their coach. But this is good experience for Justin Fields as long as they keep him upright and don't let him get killed by Myles Garrett and Clowney. That's the true test is the Chicago offensive line of that game. The Chicago offensive line and the Chicago defense will be the determination of that whole game. You keep Justin Fields upright, you have a chance to win. And then you keep him from not having pressure in his face every single snap, and you have a chance to win. You just got to get a couple stops. You got to stop the run and make Baker Mayfield pass the ball, just like Lamar Jackson. Make him pass the ball, and there's more room for error with him. Where'd you go? Okay. Um. Also, I stand by what I said about the Chiefs game. I feel like the Chiefs need to punch somebody in the mouth a couple times, and it just happens to be a division rival. And so I think it's going to be close to a 2-score game. Not that the Justin Herbert and the Chargers can't put up points, but I think that the Chiefs are going to put up a lot more points. Hello, welcome back.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Pretty stoked about this week in the NFL.
Me too. I mean, if half of my picks on this paper is right, I'll be doing all right. I'm above 600 right now for the year.
I'm shocked I'm awake too right now.
Well, she just had knee surgery like Tuesday. My sleep schedule has been so jacked up being off work for 12 days or however long it's been. I don't know. I don't even know what day is what anymore. I'm so excited to go back to work. Some normalcy. But yeah, I think there's a lot of good and potential bad to come out of this weekend. There's a lot of things to look forward to. I know there's a couple big college football matchups this weekend because my Yahoo Sports was shooting me in the face, just like punch me over and over again, like look at this, and I was like, I don't want to. It's like look at this, and I was like, I don't want to, and so I looked at it, and Notre Dame has a big game, Arkansas and Texas A&M, Wisconsin, some bigger names. I didn't see anything about Ohio State or Alabama or Florida, any of them teams, but some of the bigger names, not the biggest names, have some good matchups. I think the Wisconsin game will be good, especially if it's at home because that Wisconsin crowd's nutty.
I'm really kind of excited for UC because they're actually in national contention this year. And
Yep.
that's really cool having a team just right down the road that's in national contention, other than Ohio State, of course.
Right. No, I mean UC is getting a lot of attention finally. Sorry, I dropped all my all my papers for my picks and stuff. She said the Bearcats are sitting at number 8.
Yep. Oh, was I talking to you on the phone last week when I was watching the whiteout game?
Yeah,
You ought to watch some of the highlights from that game just to
I
watch.
watched that game.
God, what a good game!
I didn't watch the end of it, but I watched probably at least two and a
You know,
half quarters worth.
there's a the Big Ten is really diverse. I don't think Ohio State's ahead of anybody. Iowa's really good. Penn State's looking really good. Michigan's looking good for the first time in a long time. Michigan State looks.
Michigan State is looking good.
Yeah, I mean, and this week is just there's just some really good games out there. I'm looking forward to college too. I'm really big on this Georgia Bulldog team this year as well. Anybody but Alabama in my mind.
Well, Alabama is a clear favorite right now.
Yeah, but Florida played them so well.
Yeah, it was hard to beat them, but they did play well. Alabama is just too good, man.
Oklahoma plays West Virginia this week. That'll be a good game.
I wouldn't mind watching that. I want to see some Spencer Rattler tapes. Amanda, calling it to you.
I know what's the other three? I know UC is one of them. I didn't see who else was going there. I just knew that Oklahoma and Texas were going to the SEC. This college realignment stuff, it's all about money. And if you go to the SEC, you're going to get paid. So
Unless you're bad.
BYU, that's a really good place for BYU's football program and their basketball program. I think it's a solid move for them. UC needed to be in a conference like that. They needed to get out of this American Athletic. It's not even really a good place for them to be because it doesn't give them national credibility. But both those schools, I think that's a solid move.
Also, we're only like 1 or 2 away from our 250 mark. 1, unless YouTube takes some away tomorrow. So we'll do a 250 subscriber giveaway as soon as that happens.
We'll probably be announcing that Monday.
We could be. Yeah, so if you wish your stream was at B-dubs on the TV. You know what, Chris? I appreciate that, man. And
I wish we were on B-dubs too.
I wish I was streaming at B-dubs for sure. Yeah. You know, after watching these Monday night football with Peyton and Eli, it's just like makes me wish that that's what we were doing. Just breaking down Monday night football games. It's been so much fun watching them. And then they had Pat McAfee come on with them. And I mean, that dude's already my YouTube idol. And so it was just super awesome watching them just hang out, watch some football, tell some old stories, and break down what's going on in the football game, picking apart these guys' playing minds. And yeah, dude, that's super awesome. But yeah, we're one subscriber away from our 250 mark on YouTube. So if anybody wants to be a part of our 250 subscriber giveaway. Be sure to one, subscribe to us on YouTube if you haven't, and two, hit that little bell so you get a notification every time we go live on here. And hopefully we'll be doing that soon because I've got lots of different things that could go out, and I'm really excited to do a giveaway again because it's been a while. Yeah, I mean, on Monday, Eli and Peyton, super awesome. I think having those two guys, especially just being those two guys doing this together, is so much fun. And all their guests they bring in Russell Wilson, uh, Gronk, Charles Barkley, Pat McAfee. Best baseball food to eat and why? Hot dogs. Is that even a question?
Ooh, I don't know. I like nachos at a baseball game.
I love hot dogs. I just love hot dogs anyway. But hot dogs or chili dogs or however you want your dog dressed at a baseball game with maybe a
What's your
bag of
email,
potato
Scorpion?
chip.
What's your email? I'll send you one.
We have an email from him in our in the blood inbox.
Oh, I got 3 Gmail accounts, so I know I don't always see those.
Yeah, but there's an email from him
Oh,
when he was telling us about the collab. Oh wait, here he sent this email. I don't know if this is the same one.
got it.
A coney dog and nacho cheese fries, hot dogs followed by nachos for a baseball game. Yeah, I mean any variation of including a hot dog. I saw that at Costco once, but I haven't tried the Sam's Club hot dog. Um, but I mean, I just freaking love hot dogs. But a hot dog with a drink for $1.50, I feel like you can't beat that. See, I would go hot dog for baseball, and I'd go probably, sorry, I'm fixing my camera. Probably go wings and pizza for football. Yeah, I just don't have a Sam's Club account, and I didn't have a Costco membership either, but one of my friends' parents had one, and we went there to buy hot dogs in bulk. Coincidentally, the reason I went to Costco is to buy hot dogs in bulk, so we bought like 100 hot dogs for a big bonfire. Um, so I haven't got to really dive into Sam's Club as much as I have wanted to in my life. But they do have sports cards and Pokemon cards apparently, so I'm gonna have to try it out. Also, Silver Scorpion, I don't know if you saw my message in my dad's stream, but I hope, everything goes okay with your
Your
kid
boy.
and your boy. I wasn't sure if it was a boy or girl, but I hope everything goes all right with him, and I hope he pulls through and gets healthy again. Because I know you said it's something to do that you think a reaction from his surgery. He said, "You do not need a Sam's Club membership to go to the food court." It's a great life hack. You're like, yeah, I'm good. Also, Maria's in here. I just want to say hello to you and thank you for stopping by. Also, yeah, that's not good, Silver Scorpion. I hope everything gets better with that because I know how not fun that can be, and so
Well, it's stressful when your kids are having surgery, dude.
yeah, I don't have kids, but I had surgery as a kid. And now that I'm adult, I can see how stressful that was for him. It didn't feel that way then, but now I understand. And so, yeah, I hope everything comes all right and, they get him all taken care of and you don't have to stay at the hospital too long because hospitals are not fun right now, with everything going on in the world. So,
Hey, Scorpion, me and Alex will debate that when we're off of here, and I'll get back to you. Okay, bro? Thank you very much.
but yeah, so we basically previewed every game. We got our picks in for the week. Uh,
Yeah, I'm ready to. What are we? I can't imagine what the stories are going to be on Monday because we don't have any
at
idea
this
what we're going
point,
to
I
talk about.
can't imagine what the injury reports by Monday are gonna be because last week was insane. It's like nobody's ready. And so I'm hoping this is a lot less of injury week than we had last week. I know, I hope everyone starts getting healthy, like Christian McCaffrey and everybody else that was involved in injuries tonight, for Carolina. I hope everybody gets healthy. I hope we have a good, clean week. I hope the referees do better this week because every game I watched, they made me mad last week.
Yeah, the only thing that I'm not really mad about is the taunting calls. Honestly,
Some of them.
I feel like
I
I feel like
understand
there was.
they're actually taunting the team, but spinning a football on the ground is not taunting, and you can't change my mind.
No, I for the most part, I think they've got the
Like,
right idea.
getting in people's faces and, being arrogant and all that. Yeah, I get that. How's the TikTok account been? Been seeing it every time I get on. I've been really slacking. I've only posted one video in like the last like month, and it was a football video. It was really filled with everything with baseball going on, but I started losing heart in baseball. So I'm gonna get back to the TikTok soon and do some more football editing and stuff and hopefully have better content. But I mean it had been okay. It was going okay when I was still active most every day. I know I saw your videos on there, but when I checked you only had like 4 or 5 videos, but um I hope your TikTok is also doing well, Chris. But yeah, the taunting calls I'm totally good with if they're being little shits. Like if you're being the way you shouldn't be. But if you're celebrating anything, whether it be a sack, whether it be a touchdown, whether it be a first down on 3rd and long, that's not taunting for getting excited.
I I really feel like the spirit of the reason why they're emphasizing it is right because I think they're trying to knock out some of the arrogance in the league. I think celebration is great. I don't think you should hover over people and do that
No,
because all it does
that's not
is
okay.
instigate.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I mean, like the one against the Bengal guy over Andy Dalton when he
Hmm.
got it. After I mean that was close, but you know what? I guess it's they look at it like it's senseless gibberish and they want to slow it down a little bit. If you I mean they're not penalizing they're not penalizing the shoot. You know they're not penalizing celebration. I just really think that they're trying. I think what they're afraid of is that everybody's so wound up and that they're trying to stop fights. And I think that's a good thing because nobody should punch somebody while wearing a helmet.
Nobody should punch a helmet anyway.
But they do.
I mean, yeah, you're gonna break your own hand. He's protected in that helmet. But, I agree with you. I just feel like some of the taunting calls were not acceptable to me.
Yeah, there's been a couple, but I think that once they get the dumb shit slowed down, I think the penalties will slow down too.
Yeah, I agree. Also,
I'm really ready for Monday. I'm really
Monday.
because I have no idea what we're going to be talking about.
That's the best part of this. Is we don't know how it's gonna go.
You're right. We have no clue what's going to change. There's something's going to happen this weekend that's going to dictate most of our time on Monday, and we have no idea what it'll be.
How about Rondell Moore, potential rookie of the year?
Maybe.
I'm just saying.
He's
He's
playing well.
getting touches. He's favored to be a starter in fantasy right now.
I think he's a great player. We talked about him during draft that we were excited for that draft pick.
Yeah, I mean any team, any pass first team that picked him up was lucky to have him.
You know, we're,
He's a lot like that kid that went to Cleveland. That I can never remember his name, but he's fast. He's small.
yeah, you know, I when we were talking about Rondell Moore before he got drafted, in my brain, the one place I really wanted to see him end up was Buffalo.
I can see that. I feel like Arizona has just like nothing can change my mind that was the best place for him to go now.
Yeah, I'm really excited.
That culture.
I'm gonna, I'm really gonna stick to my guns about Arizona being pretty close to winning that division. If it's not them, it'll be the Rams. I really feel strongly about it. And as long as they don't fall apart offensively or defensively and have a major injury, D Hop is still the man. He's still the best receiver in the league.
He is that guy.
I mean, and as long as Kyler Murray can keep progressing forward, they got a really good chance to win the NFC.
It's scary. That NFC West is terrifying.
Yeah, I can't wait for a lot of those divisional games.
But I think that's all I have today. Unless you have anything else, I think I got everything I got out.
I'm just glad for the interaction and everybody showing up and supporting tonight and helping make the broadcast go better by putting their 2 cents worth in. And an interactive audience makes me happy. It makes it feel like it's more of a group chat than just you and I. Even though I like just you and I think it's fun with everybody else.
Yeah, I don't know what happened to Shelby. He was here earlier. Maybe she's just listening, lurking. But yeah, everybody else that showed up today, that hung out with today, just said anything. Hey, hello, foosball, or whatever Marlon said. Anybody that had any input today, we appreciate you.
Try
If you're
to
here and you're not chatting, yeah, if you're just lurking right now, we appreciate you. If you feel like it, you can smash that like button on your way out today. And we got a lot of football this weekend, and so I can't wait to talk about it on Monday. I think the Bengals are going to beat the Steelers. I think the Bears are going to beat the Browns. Those are my two upsets for the week. It's going to happen.
Yep. And definitely check in on Monday because we should be at the 250 subscriber giveaway by then.
Yep. If we hit 250 by Monday, I got some stuff all over that I am ready to throw away for free. Throw away you for free. So I'm really excited to do that. Be sure to hit that bell next to the subscribe mark, and so you'll get a notification every time we post anything or anytime we go live, so you won't miss out. I broke 100 subscribers, so get ready for the giveaway.
Heck yeah.
Also, I like your new picture, Jeff. Looks good. Also, from your opinion, which team is the best fit for Ben Simmons? Okay, I'm just going to tell you. I haven't told it to you. but I don't like Ben Simmons. He's probably my least favorite NBA player, and I don't even know why. Philadelphia is probably the best fit for Ben Simmons, but he doesn't want to be there. So I'm gonna
I'm gonna
say
say Atlanta.
Atlanta or Detroit.
Ooh, yeah, he seems like a Detroit guy.
Yeah, but all right,
Yeah, with that.
everybody,
Thanks,
we're gonna
everybody.
wrap it
We'll
up for tonight, and we will see all of you guys on Monday. And stay safe. Enjoy some football this weekend, and we will talk to you soon.
peace.